Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing Ticket to Ride Stay at Home. This is another game in the Ticket to Ride series by Days of Wonder. Basically, this game was made because of the pandemic. People weren't really able to leave their houses to go travel a lot because it just wasn't safe or responsible. So, Ticket to Ride didn't really make that much sense thematically in that time. After all, what's the point in making rails to travel around your country when you can't travel around your country? There's also a lot of people who were put in a position where they really didn't have the disposable income to spend on board games. So Days of Wonder had the brilliant idea of designing a game around a family navigating around their own house by making pathways. Just like you would see in games like Ticket to Ride, where you would make pathways with trains, you're making pathways in your house to get around the house. So thematically it made sense, but they also made this game as a print and play so everyone could access it, and you can play this with your family. It is a bit of a smaller game than Ticket to Ride games typically are. This is only a 2 to 4 player game. The board's a bit smaller, but it's still a very nice addition. I will try and link to the print and play that Days of Wonder posted in the description below, so please check that out. Let's get started. For those of you who haven't played a game of Ticket to Ride before, the setup is very easy. You start by laying out the board, and every person will pick a color. So for instance, the green player will get the green point tracker, as well as a bag full of green trains. For this game, you will only need 32 trains per person. You will set the point trackers in the corner of the board at the 0 point. You will use this to track your points throughout the game. Then you will set up 5 trains somewhere next to the board. So these will be on display and they'll be next to the deck. Each player will then select the role of being the sister, the brother, the dad, or the mother. So when you do this, all that happens is you will get one of these decks of cards. These are basically the tickets that you will be using to try and get most of your victory points. They will tell you 2 locations on the board that you need to connect in some way, shape, or form. These will be shuffled. Each player will get 2 from their own deck. So the brother player will get 2 of these cards. The rest will be put in the box and removed from the game. Then each player will get 2 cards from the regular deck of goal cards. These cards are just generic. They'll have a picture of your cat next to it, and any player can get these tickets. They will also have destinations that you have to connect on the board using your trains. These tend to be worth fewer victory points, however. Of those 4 cards that you have, 2 generic and 2 specific, you'll then choose at least 2 of those to keep. The rest will be discarded. You can keep all 4. However, know that any of these tickets that you do not finish by the end of the game, you will lose points for. So the points are in the bottom right-hand corner. That's how many you gain if you complete it, but you also lose that many if you are unable to complete it. These will be the bulk of your points of the game, so be careful. This deck is then placed on the side of the board. So how do you play Ticket to Ride Stay at Home? Well, it's simple. On your turn, you do one of 3 actions. The first action is taking train cards. So how this works is you can take from the revealed pile, or you could take from the hidden deck. So of the revealed pile, it's very simple. You just take one of the trains, and then you replace it from the top of the deck. One thing to keep in mind is these rainbow trains can be used as any color, so they are very helpful. But in this game, you can only take 1 revealed train card per turn. So if that was another rainbow train, I couldn't take it. So I took 1, now I could take another one. Let's go with this red. And then you reveal another one, and that's the end of your turn. If I wanted, I could have taken a face down card, but I want to choose from the available cards. The next action you can take is you can play trains. So how this works is by discarding the train cards required, you can make a pathway. So by discarding 2 reds, because this rainbow card counts as a red, I can connect the fridge and the sink with my trains, which will look something like this. So now that's my connection. If someone else were to place theirs here, we would have both blocked that off. So here's how the points work. If you ever place down one train card, you get 1 point. 2, you get 2. 3 for 4. 4 for 7. 5 for 10. And 6 for 15. So the bigger the connections you make, the more points you get. There is one other way of laying trains in this game, and that is these family paths. So how family paths work are you place them one at a time. So I would spend a red to place a train here. So you as a family can work together to build this, and all the players involved in building the pathway get to share it. So if I want to connect, let's say, the kids' bath to some other room, some other player can go in with me and put the orange there, and we can share that path. I could also complete it on a future turn. This is just worth 1 point per train that you put on these segments. The last action you can take on your turn is drawing tickets. So these tickets, as mentioned, these are the pathways that you're trying to connect. How it works is you draw 3 tickets, and you must keep at least one of the 3 tickets that you just drew. So if you think that you can make something, you can go for it. But you have to choose at least one. Remember, any ones that you don't complete, you lose points for. Any ones that you don't want to keep, you end up discarding. And that is the game. You keep playing until one player has 2 trains left. Then every player gets 1 remaining turn. You then calculate points. These points will be counted as you go for laying down trains, but you'll be calculating the points from your tickets. So all the points you get from the tickets minus all the points you lose for not completing any tickets. Add that to your final score. Whoever has the most points wins. In the event of a tie, whoever has the most completed tickets wins. So what do I think of this game? Component-wise, it's very nice. The cards are always really nice. I love the art on the trains. For the tickets, they've gone more simplistic with it. After all, this game was designed as a print-and-play game, so it's designed to be very simplistic. You could definitely see that with the artwork. The trains, as always, are really nice, easy to play with, very detailed, and that's what I love about it. One issue I definitely see with the game is the instructions for this variant aren't clear on a couple of things. So, for instance, these areas right here, it doesn't explain what they are. People who've played Ticket to Ride know that that's a general area where you could place any color to complete it. But the problem is, it doesn't explain that. Additionally, it does say some new rules for 2 players for this game, but it doesn't clarify all of the rules. One thing that does clarify is that you can place down 2 trains at a time for these sections if you're playing with 2 players. But what doesn't clarify is that for these triple areas, what happens if you finish them? Because in a 2-player variant, you're supposed to actually block off the other path. So if I had this red done, no one can use this side because it's blocked off in the 2-player variant. However, if I were to do this, does it block off both of these? So it doesn't explain what to do in triple pathways, and it doesn't explain what to do about these pathways that are any color. Otherwise, I do like this game. I'm going to say I do prefer Ticket to Ride as just the regular old Ticket to Ride or Ticket to Ride Europe over this one, because this board doesn't actually have too much to it. Because it's smaller, yes, it makes for a quicker game, but the problem is you really don't get any opportunities to make these absolutely massive connections. So it's meant to be a quicker turnover game, which means you're probably not going to have 5 yellows to build this at any point, unless you really hoard them. Also, you'll see that there's not as much balance with playing it. They kind of add these new pathways in, which is kind of interesting, but I find that they're very slow to develop. So the players who end up usually trying to work on them tend to actually waste a lot of time. Plus, if you're a player who wants to use it, and you see that another player is developing them, it kind of just helps to wait and see what they do with it. Because sure, you can always finish it later if you've already started one that you have to work on, but they might end up finishing it. So it's an interesting idea. It makes for a bit of a friendlier game potentially, but it's not necessarily a good idea or a good strategy to focus on those. Especially given that they're only worth 1 point per segment, and in a 3-player game, it's only a point per turn. So it's not that good of an idea. The addition of the family roles, like the father, the mother, the brother, the sister at the beginning, the only thing I can think of why they did that is they want to guarantee that you're getting some high point cards at the start of the game. Because a lot of these tickets, since it's a smaller board, aren't worth a lot of points. So I just don't think that it's scaled down well. It's still very fun. It just doesn't hold up as much as Ticket to Ride does. I would still recommend playing this. However, to anyone who enjoys playing this and doesn't have a copy of Ticket to Ride, I'm going to tell you, get a copy of Ticket to Ride as well. If you love this, you will love Ticket to Ride. I would like to just thank Days of Wonder for sending me a copy of this. I did win their giveaway, so I do think that is relevant to state that although this is a manufactured copy, not a print and play, I got it sent to me as a giveaway. I am very happy about it, and I had the print and play option. So I'm very happy to actually have this copy. It's very nice. Well, that's all I really have to say about this game. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, comment, and subscribe.